What's up, guys? It's Untitled B. Don't forget to get your hands on exclusive designs and stunning artwork only on Teespring and Etsy. If you want to wear your style and hang amazing artwork on your walls, go check it all out after this episode. Some items are limited, so don't miss out. Also, you can get free prints when you subscribe to my ad-free podcast on Patreon for just $5. I'll share where to find those links at the end of the show, so let's get to it.
News, trends, hype, and everything culture.
You're listening to The Culture Plug with Untitled B.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Culture Plug podcast with Untitled B. This is episode 19. I just want to start the episode with, if you've managed to make it to this episode, you're blessed, and congrats on making it through another week in this crazy world we live in. Also, if you're new to the podcast, thank you to all the new listeners, and thank you so much for all the support. Man, let's see, we're in 10 countries right now, including the U.S., of course. Countries include Singapore, Bulgaria, Italy, Greece, Canada, the Russian Federation, Australia, France, and Kenya. That is amazing. This podcast is also in 22 cities, which include Victoria, Texas, Houston, Texas, Bay City, Texas, shout out to my hometown, Dallas, Texas, San Francisco, California, Sophia, Capital, San Antonio, Austin, Kemp, Texas, Boardman, Oregon, Milan, Irving, Texas, Porter, Texas, Los Angeles, California, Pearland, Texas, Melbourne, Australia, Treviso, not sure which country that one's in, Venice, Angleton, Texas, Athens, Greece, Denver, Colorado, and Sydney, Australia. All you listeners out there, thank you. Is it just me, or does it seem like a lot of people's attitudes are getting worse nowadays? I went to go get an oil change recently, and I'm not gonna disclose the location or the person or whoever, whatever. But every time I go to this particular location, I always have an issue. And at this particular location, you park differently, apparently. You don't go up to the service people and, let them know what you want. You have to go wait in a parking spot, which I wasn't aware of the first time. Okay, whatever, I didn't know. They had an attitude then about the whole ordeal. I go back the second time, and if you know anything about the weather here in Texas, it's very hot outside, right? So I thought I would do this person the courtesy of, go ahead and driving up there. Um, he came to the window. He said, "You're not supposed to park right here. You're supposed to park over there." And so I tried explaining to the guy. I said, "I know. I just came over here, just to save you from having to walk over there. I know it's hot outside." And he just gave me like this stank look on his face, and he said, very rudely and abruptly, he said, "Doesn't matter. We're gonna do what we got to do. Just you can park over there." I'm like, okay, well, I mean, whatever, walk in the heat, sweat, I don't care. Work as hard as you feel like you need to, whatever. But anyway, I ended up going to like a different location. And I will say at the other location, people are much more nicer about situations, very more respectful, don't have a stank attitude, just saying. And I just I don't understand, like, there's no need for attitudes, man. If you don't like your job, then find another one. If you're having a bad day, then shake it off, do something, do what you got to do. But I mean, you shouldn't be working in a field of service where you work with people on a daily basis and then pour your attitude or whatever happened to you on someone else. God, man. I swear, it's like attitudes and respect. There's like no mutual respect anymore. Like, people don't respect anything about anybody's lives anymore. They don't respect their belongings. They don't respect their personality. They don't respect anything anymore. Like, in my opinion, when it comes to respect, like, I feel like respect should be given right off the bat as a courtesy. But the moment you talk to someone like crap, or you treat them like crap, that's when you've lost my respect. I never I never not have respect for someone unless they give me a reason to. And even then, I just kind of just stay away from that person. Like I don't surround myself with people who don't respect other people. That's just who I am. But I just feel like there's a deep lack of respect nowadays with people. I don't know. I guess that's one of the things that makes me such an introverted person, I guess. Believe it or not. But yeah, I mean, I definitely think we could do a lot better with the respect aspect nowadays. It's wild, man. It's crazy world, crazy world. Speaking of crazy worlds, our US president seems like he's going on his crazy say whatever I want rampages again. Recently, he just made a statement about there being two N words.
Just to be careful, because we can't let people throw around that word. I call it the N word. There are two N words, and you can't use either of them. You can't use either of them. And frankly, if it does get to use, we have more than anybody else. We have better, we have newer, but it's something we don't ever want to even have to think about.
Now, I'm not sure what N words he's talking about. I think I have a pretty good idea of what he's talking about. But I mean, come on, man. Really? I'd be very, very, very careful about how you throw that speech around. That's a little reaching, buddy. That's crazy. Then he gives this UN speech talking about how countries are going to hell.
And I'm really good at predicting things, you know. They actually said during the campaign they had a hat, the best-selling hat. Trump was right about everything. And I don't say that in a braggadocious way, but it's true. I've been right about everything. I'm really good at this stuff. Your countries are going to hell. Proud to see this morning I have the highest poll numbers I've ever had.
Then there was this weird AI video that just recently came out of him being a Grim Reaper and ringing a bell. Like, what is that supposed to mean? Like, why are you doing this? I thought being the president was supposed to be a job for someone who's mature and responsible. Someone who isn't inappropriate or doesn't say inappropriate things, standards that, all of us common workers are held against. I thought that would be a normal thing for someone in office in general, but whatever. Now he wants military training in every major city. I guess he's trying to crack down on cities.
I told Pete we should use some of these dangerous cities as training grounds for our military, National Guard, but military. Because we're going into Chicago very soon. That's a big city with an incompetent governor, stupid governor.
I don't know. It seems like the guy just goes after cities and people who disagree, or a majority of their people disagree with his policies or what he thinks, or basically anything he says. I mean, the guy is pretty much hell bent on war. All while our vice president apparently is against women traveling out of their home state while pregnant. I didn't know pregnant women were bound to stay in one area. Um, I mean, obviously, I understand like women aren't able to fly or recommended not to fly. I mean, for obvious reasons, they're pregnant, but to not be able to travel at least by vehicle or anything like that to another state. I don't know why people aren't as concerned about women's rights being taken away while all this is going on. And now they're talking about how interracial marriage should be left to individual states to decide. And basically, what that says to us, or what that sounds like to us, is we're not going to let the Supreme Court deal with anything anymore. We're just going to let the states decide so they can do whatever they want with the laws.
So you would be okay with the Supreme Court leaving the question of interracial marriage to the states?
Yes, I think that that's something that if you're not wanting the Supreme Court to weigh in on issues like that, you're not going to be able to have your cake and eat it too. I think that's hypocritical.
What about Griswold versus Connecticut?
Well, you can list a whole host of issues. When it comes down to whatever they are, I'm going to say that they're not going to all make you happy within a given state, but that we're better off having states manifest their points of view rather than homogenizing it across the country as Roe versus Wade did.
My thing is, why, if it's not an issue, why is it being brought up? If nobody has a problem with it, why should the states be allowed to do what they want to do? Why would anyone do anything differently? Other than the reasoning being they don't believe in interracial marriage. I just can't help but feel that like we're going backwards, you know? We're going backwards, and now there's all this racism and hatred towards Latinos and Latinas and I don't know, black people. I feel like we're next. Black people, I feel like we're next. And I'm not gonna discredit the obvious. I mean, the dislike was already there. It's been there. I mean, I feel as though things may get worse, actually. Yeah. And if you didn't know already, in the sports world, Bad Bunny is supposed to be performing at this coming Super Bowl. And a lot of people have mixed feelings about that. Yeah, a lot of people are basically like saying you should be able to sing in English if you're at the Super Bowl or you're performing at the Super Bowl. There shouldn't be a non-American performing at the Super Bowl. And like, here's my take on it. Although, although I wish I could understand what he's saying in his music, I respect the fact that this person influences his culture. And while I may be struggling to try to understand what he may be singing if he doesn't sing any songs in English, I will be watching the performance. And I am proud for the Latin culture. I really am. And I hope he kills it at the Super Bowl. I hope he has an amazing performance. But I think I'm gonna get an enjoyment out of out of seeing the amount of haters. The amount of hate that this man is already getting is absurd. But I mean, I really hope he kills it. I really hope he kills the performance. I wish him nothing but greatness, and I hope, well, whatever he decides to do, I hope it influences people to unite. I hope it encourages people to keep their heads high and then let them know that they're worth more than, than whoever portrays them to be. If you guys can understand what I'm saying. I have no issue whatsoever with him performing at all. I just wish I actually knew Spanish. Other than that, there's been like a lot of crazy things being said about this three-eye Atlas comet or alien ship or whatever people think it is. Apparently, it seems like every day or every other day, as they keep an eye on it, it seems like it's bigger and bigger than they expected it to be. And there's like almost like this mass hysteria on TikTok of, oh, the aliens are coming, oh my gosh, they're gonna take over, they're hostile, black, whatever people are saying on TikTok. I don't know. But apparently I still don't know who this Harvard scientist is that people are referring to, who says that whatever's coming, it's of alien technology and hostile. Some of the comments are actually hilarious. Some people are like, I really hope they come get us and take us out of this place because this place sucks or whatever. There's people who are like, what's going on? There's some people who are like, take this serious. And then you have this whole other group that are like, we're the Epstein files. But yeah, I mean, if you have any information on that is factual that you heard of, yeah, hit me up. Hit me up on the link to message me or email or comment on the podcast. Guys, please, 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 please start commenting more on the podcast. I want to be able to interact with you guys. I want to get to know you guys. If there's anything that you want to hear me talk about, please let me know. I can get that on the podcast, however, whenever. But yeah, I'd love to get to know you. I'd love to get to know the people who listen every day. What motivates you, what gets you going. It kind of gives me feedback to know what to talk about, to, inspire people, get people going, speak on things that people actually want to hear. And to those who've been listening, thank you again. Like, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, like back to the craziness in the world. And I just found out today about that Chevron explosion. That's insane. And it makes me wonder. It's like places like this, whenever they build it, it's like what is the motive here? I mean, is it finding resources? Is it giving people jobs? Which I don't feel like it's to give people jobs. I just feel like a lot of things like this. First off, no good comes with the intention being greed. And I feel like a lot of things that go south nowadays have greed behind it. Either greed, envy, basic sins. And I'm not gonna sit here and speak all holy, but I mean, there is a lot of greed in the world right now, a lot of it. But it just makes you wonder. It's like places like this, they build it with the intention of only making more money. But I feel like nobody ever considers the dangers of building something. Like, I truly believe that the end of the world wouldn't be from an alien invasion. We are the end. I feel like we are to end our own world. If the world truly ends, it'll be our fault. I truly believe that. We make these things that are radioactive. We make these things that are explosive. We make these things that cause cancer. We make these things that make us sick, all kinds of stuff. But we don't care. And it's all for the love of the money. It's all for the love of money. But I will say, man, with everything that's been going on, like out in the world, publicly and even personally for me, I will say life is short. Life is too short to be greedy. Life is too short to have an attitude every day. Life is too short to let yourself get angry. Life is too short to sulk in sadness every day. If you have something that you want to do, pursue it. If you have a dream or a goal, try your best to do it. Try your best to make all your dreams and your goals come true. Because I can tell you, the only person stopping you is you. There are so many ways to make money nowadays. There are so many ways to find happiness. It starts with you, not your job, not your friends, not even your family, but it starts with you. And speaking of family, if you have any issues or you have anything that's gone unresolved with family, like just make amends. Not even family, also friends. Just just make amends because life is just too short. Even as a photographer, I've worked at a photography studio. We take pictures all the time. And sometimes we'd have people come back and tell us that the picture that we took of their loved one was the last picture they had. And even doing photography, it made me look at things differently. Am I giving this person their last photograph? Is this the last memory, the last smile that they're going to see on their loved one? It just puts into perspective, not to take anything for granted. So do what you got to do. Call your family, make amends. Even if your family's not having an issue, call your family. And as far as like having a positive attitude, it radiates with people. You go out in public, people feel that energy, especially like people like me. I can walk into a room and I get drowned with energy. And sometimes if that energy is just too negative, like I pull myself out of that room. And sometimes that's exactly, what we have to do. We have to pull ourselves away from that negative energy, that negative space. Surround yourself with positivity, surround yourself with positive people, surround yourself with people who want to chase their dreams and goals. Surround yourself with people who make it an objective to do what they got to do to make sure they're good, their family's good, everyone is good. Surround yourself with wise people because I guarantee you, you will be part of that clique. You will pick up those habits and you will be the best version of you. But it doesn't start with the people around you. It starts with you. You have to navigate people in your life. And I'm not saying like completely shut people out. I'm just saying you have to be able to find that clique that you can relate to. People who will motivate you in a positive light. And reason I thought about that lately is forgiveness has been a subject that's been heavy on my mind. And this is the first time, if you're listening to this, you're going to be the first person. If you're the first person to listen to this, you're going to be the first person to hear this. I um I wrote a poem and I don't know why. I don't know why I was so inspired to write this poem or this rhyme or melody, whatever you want to call it. It's art. Take it how you want. But I don't know what came over me to write this. There were no specific people in mind. There were no specific incidents in mind. It's just something that came to me. And in this poem, I mentioned Ephesians. And I guess it just came naturally based off the content of the poem or the melody. Um, but due to personal reasons, I kind of held back on it, and I kind of just been sitting on it for weeks. Um, I feel like almost a couple of months now, but there's been so many things ever since I wrote this poem. I had an in-law mention Ephesians in the speech. I had my dad send me. My dad sends me scripts every morning. He sends me Bible scripts every morning. And around this time, this one in particular was Ephesians. And a couple of days before that, or in between like the speech from my in-law and the verse that my dad sent me, there was another post about Ephesians that just popped up randomly. And I don't know what it was, but I feel like God was speaking to me. Um, and every time I saw that verse, it's something inside that hit me to where I almost shed a tear. Because at this point, I'm like, okay, I seriously think that God is speaking to me. I don't know what He wants me to do with this. Um, all I can gather out of it is forgiveness. And these past couple of months, you know, I've experienced like depth. I've experienced sadness, depression. Um, I've also experienced joy, happiness. I feel like everything emotionally was happening at one time. And I feel like maybe that's one of the reasons why it's kind of so hard to decipher what this message was that was trying to be sent to me. But now I believe that the message was forgiveness because of grief, forgiveness because of resentment, um, forgiveness because of self doubt or self hatred in some situations. And I feel like maybe this is something that I should have put out there for people to hear. I mean, this speech and this quote, it may hit home with a lot of people. I don't know if it's going to touch people in a positive light or negative. I'm hoping in a positive light. So that's the attitude I try to lean towards. A positive attitude. Basically, the poem talks about all of that. Um, Grief, self-doubt, finding joy, just being able to cope, being able to know that everything is okay. Like I said, I've been sitting on this speech for a while. And when I tell you that whenever I recorded it for the first time or I attempted to record it, that was a very traumatic day. I remember I tried to um, find a very soundproofed area. I tried doing the poem um, in the closet. And I remember that particular day, there just happened to be like a very bad storm, like raining hard, like slamming against the trailer, the outside of the trailer. I remember the lightning, the thunder, and it's just something about that moment was so powerful. And for whatever reason, like I felt so much emotion come out of my body talking about this. And all I can think of is how the contents of the speech just kept popping up randomly after I recorded it, and how dramatic that day or that moment was. I'm just gonna let you guys listen in on this. Like I said, there's no particular people that this is about. It's just something that came to me, and the story is about two tragedies. Um, but I've tried to make sense of there being two sides of the same coin. You know, I guess the basis is even though we're different and come from different backgrounds, sometimes we have similar situations, and it's how we go about it that makes us who we are. This poem is called Crowns, and I want you to listen to it. And here it goes. I want to share my deep thoughts for people in the room with deep thoughts, room in their minds for deep thoughts, digging deep inside my mind, underneath my crown. My self-worth in my eyes grew from a bottomless pit to reach the stars. I guess that's why they call them deep thoughts. I grew up in a generation where violence is basic. I'ma save mine. I ain't worried about yours, but I hope you make it. A world where people hate to take fault in their actions, marital status, turned into business transactions. It's insanity the way we fall victim to our own creations. The dark side of sex, money, power, and drugs be making us motivated to do things that we know ain't right. Nowadays, other values mean more than life. I'm blessed for my wife. Don't know what I would do without her. Yes, she changed my life. And most will call me a simp just because I love my wife, not sparing a dime for the thoughts. I'm thankful for my life. Going above and beyond for those you love doesn't make you a simp. Life is surely a trip, but you can be a pimp or get pimped. Not by the one in a feather fedora or gator shoes, but by the ones who make you feel like you don't even have your own path to choose. Always know you have a voice, always know you have a choice. Me though, I feel more at ease making my own road. I see myself as more of a philosopher. They don't get it. I guess that's why they don't know me though. Society don't want me to prosper. I grew up in a generation where hours in a 9 to 5 are more important than seeing the loved ones grow up, dwell, and thrive. It's complicated being a minority. Health is no longer a priority. We work ourselves to the grave, land of the free and home of the brave, free only if you know how to behave. Only by their standards, because if you can't afford to live, if your complexion ain't right, if you go out at night, statistically, you will find yourself in an early grave. So I ask myself, who is the free and who is the brave? Lack of education, either from our environment or a pandemic, misinformed because they want you to misinform the culture. They want to break it down, put a magnifying glass on us just so they can look down. But keep your heads up, kings and queens, pick up your crown. You are worthy, you are enough. I know that life can get tough. If you tell me there's no voice in this black man, I'm truly calling the bluff. I grew up in a generation where money and tech is the only commitment. You fight for what you love, but I can't see why you YNs don't get it. I like living fast, getting cash, foot on the gas with no brake pads, out of touch with reality until your car crashed, taking the lives of those with you, going 122 into 60, 22 on the dash, threatening 2 innocent lives, a son and his adoptive dad, melanated skin, the bodies recovered, investigations began. Cops found an unregistered 22 next to a bottle of Jack and gin. It truly makes you wonder if living without care is a sin. A drunk driver and passenger, names DeAndre and Ken, no next to kin, two souls lost with jugged crowns who grew up on the block, selling drugs around the clock. DeAndre and Ken were coming from a party from around the block. Fingerprints traced. Turned out a stolen safe is where DeAndre got the Glock. Come to find out, Ken was DeAndre's younger brother. Life had been the same since he lost their mother. Early victims of hood politics at a young age. Gangbanger took the father, grew up and never knew the father. Back to the father and the adopted son. Two innocent bystanders. Their names were David and John. John was only 2 when he lost his father to cancer. His mother stressed out, consulting and drugs. She concluded that giving up a son was the only answer. If you don't get what I'm saying, let me make this story seem less disjointed. Let me paint you an image of two tragic backstories that come from the same coin. Though we are dealt with similar outcomes and we may face the same defeat, how we persevere through our outcomes is truly what makes our souls and our crowns unique. As David lied down in a hospital gown in critical condition, John stood next to his father and his father said, "Son, listen." He said, "Son, it's okay to grieve and it's okay to feel hurt. But to hold hate in your heart towards another will truly make you feel worse." John said, "Thank you, Dad, for showing me how to be grateful." See, David taught John that using his voice out of hatred would truly be wasteful. David then proceeded to quote Ephesians 4:32, "Be kind and passionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as Christ God has forgave you." John closed his eyes and said, "Dear Father, thank you for his time on earth. I'm grateful, and because of you and him, I know my worth." Then David said, "Lord, forgive the soul in question, because they know not what they have done. I have no spite in my heart. I forgive them for what they have done." John closed his eyes, And as he joined his dying father in prayer, he opened them up and saw his father push his last breath of air. He said, "I love you, son. And just remember that God loves you too. Pick your crown up. God has a purpose and a goal just for you to pursue." In response, John said, "I love you too." He broke down to his knees, as they call Code Blue. A young hurt boy in a room with a lifeless body, but his father's spirit had hovered. Fast forward many years, John reconciled with his mother. John forgave his mother for giving him up, later realizing that her actions had lifted him up and into the hands of a stranger who shared the words that lifted him up. John said, "Look, Ma, I know you probably feel as though your crown has been battered. You're still a queen, and I want you to know the relationship between you and I hasn't been completely shattered. God helped you pick up the pieces. He saw that you were in need of love again, so he found a way to bring you right back to me. I thank the Lord for helping you get out of these streets. I want to share a verse that my adoptive dad once shared with me. He said, Mom, let me read you a quote from Ephesians 4:32. Be kind, be passionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as Christ God has forgave you. Moral of the story is life may not be as bad as you think. Our reactions to actions can truly mean more than you think. I'm thankful for my parents, although they may not hear it a lot. They taught me a lot. I love them, and I'm sorry if they don't hear it a lot. And I want y'all to know I'm grateful for the life I got. I'm grateful for new chapters, new blessings, and a brand new life. And I want to thank you again, Lord, for my beautiful wife. I thank you, Lord, for our baby girl. I can't wait for her to make her mark in this world. In a world of uncertainty and situations that burden thee, I pray that when the due date comes, her and her mother are safe and sound. Dear Lord, I ask, please shine your light on our princess's crown. That was Crowns. And I thank y'all for listening. You know, talking about that, it wasn't easy to share it all, but I hope someone hears this, and I hope someone appreciates it, and I hope someone hears this and get the message. And if you know anyone who needs this or encouragement for any reason, please do not hesitate to share this at all. I want to thank you so much. Like I said, I don't do this podcast for a popularity boost. I don't do this just for money. I do this because I always made it a dream of mine to want to be able to help people. And I do believe that voice has power, and a passionate voice definitely has power. And I want to be able to share my passion and my compassion and share the love that I have in general. And I want to, do my part in trying to make this world a better place, hopefully. So, so thank you again for listening. And man, I don't know what else to say. I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Thank you so much. Stay blessed. Thanks for listening, guys. Don't forget to check out my Teespring merch and photography prints on sale on Etsy. The links to both will be in my comment sections and bios. If you want ad-free content and free prints, please go subscribe on Patreon. And don't forget to follow the podcast right now on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and many more. And video podcasts will also be on my YouTube channel, The Culture Plug Podcast. You can also find all of the links on Instagram at The Culture Plug. As always, thanks for listening. Stay plugged. And remember, simplicity is a luxury. Catch you guys on the next episode.